Right then, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, welcome one and all. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knickknack. I'm the brains behind Knickknack's Daily Teaser, which is a fun daily pub quiz style quiz. I also talk about movies as and when I can sit still for long enough to watch one, and I haven't recently, although I'm going to have to try and keep my eyes open for Dune Part 2. I watched the original a few years ago, and I wanted to watch the second one as it's now available for downloading. I also watch TV shows, and I've recently been watching Star Trek Discovery's last season, and it's a shame it's a last season because it is looking rather good. I also watch Doctor Who, and have done for many years now, and given it's the 11th of May, I started watching the new season, which is either the first season, according to the Americans, or the 14th series, according to us over here in Britain. Either way, I watched the first episode of the new series today. It's called Space Babies. It's on iPlayer in the UK, it's on Disney Plus outside the UK, and it's on assorted illegal torrent tracking sites if you're of a mind to, download Tor and possibly a BitTorrent client and do things that way. Don't know, it's naughty. Either way, I thought you might want to hear what I thought of this new episode, Space Babies. Episode 1, Space Babies, picks up from where the Church on Ruby Road left on, with an entranced Ruby, Millie Gibson, entering the TARDIS for the very first time to find that the ship's interior, as we all know by now, is a lot bigger than she was expecting. Something matched by its pilot, in a metaphorical way, as the Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, tells Ruby how he, like her, is an orphan and was adopted by the Time Lords, and how his adopted people would use titles rather than names. He also tells how his adopted planet is gone, destroyed in what he calls genocide, and how he is the last of the Time Lords. He also tells Ruby that the TARDIS flies, both through space and through time, and offers to show Ruby exactly how by taking her back in time to see dinosaurs. Once the Doctor corrects the damage caused by Ruby stepping on a butterfly, is when he offers to take her forward in time. Right, what did I make of Space Babies, of this first episode? I have to admit, I've come away impressed with this episode. We have scares, we have a literal, God, I wish I saw this joke coming, but we had a literal bogeyman. We have a central idea, intelligent babies running a baby farm, and with an overworked nanny that works. It's a basic little concept that works well, I thought. And we have a bunch of space babies that think Ruby and the Doctor are mummy and daddy, and they're keen to impress their parents. On other fronts, did I notice something else, or anything else? Yes, I did, actually. It's possibly interesting and possibly something that's not going to go unmentioned elsewhere. But I noticed that the space babies are described at one point as refugees. And earlier on in the episode, the Gallifrey was destroyed in what the Doctor calls a genocide, both of which I think are basically a nod to Ncuti Gatwa. His family came to Britain in the 90s, in 1994, as refugees escaping from the 94 Rwandan Civil War and its associated genocide. It's either a good piece of casting or a good bit of writing for the cast there, I think. If you're going to ask somebody to put a spin on the word genocide, given his history, Ncuti is a very good choice, and believe you me, he puts a very interesting stress on just that one word, and you can understand why, given his background. And granted, his speech about the destruction of the Time Lords is something that saw him reclaiming that Last of the Time Lords title, and it's something we saw the character first using about their history in Eccleston's time as the Ninth Doctor. And it's something I think Russell T Davies is repeating, in part because he's got a leading man who really does know how the word genocide is defined. Given all that, given that they've also avoided mentioning the Time War and this piece of casting, I think we've got a very interesting bit of history for the character. It's rebooted it and it's looking truly meaningful, the leading man using that word genocide. There are possibly plenty of other things to mention here, but I felt 2 points, 2 things that I noticed should be the ones I should concentrate on here. First things first, there's a scene early on where Ruby and the Doctor are using one of the station's viewing pools. They're looking out on the planet they're orbiting, and the Doctor is explaining how the TARDIS translation abilities work. It's a good story point because it tells new viewers, and those new viewers on Disney who may not be familiar with the show, that the TARDIS has an ability to help its passengers, and it explains it in an entertaining in-universe way to people who are wondering why all the Daleks and aliens and Cybermen all talk English. It's the TARDIS doing the translation. But there's also a part of that scene where the Doctor upgrades Ruby's phone so that she can speak to her mother at some blah thousand years in the past. That's Russell T Davies repeating himself again, I think. It's literally a direct copy of a scene from Russell T Davies penned The End of the World in the first season, where Eccleston's Ninth Doctor does the same thing for Rose, for Billie Piper. He literally dickers about with her phone so she can use it to phone home across God knows how much distance in terms of light years and time. There's also a section about 22 minutes into the episode, something I noticed because that's me being noticey, but it's a scene where a previous member of the station's crew recalled their last log entry, and the Doctor and Ruby and the nanny are watching these scenes. 2 of the characters, Captain Trieste and Engineer Colasanto, Jesus Reyes Ortez and Yasmin Buabid, I hope I've got those names correct, they are mentioned in the credits, the 2 characters and the actors playing them. The third, the comms officer, Gina Sciali, Gina something at any rate, isn't mentioned in the credits, but I had a look at the character, and I'll try and include the photo that I did, the screenshot I did. But am I right in thinking the character, the Gina, the comms officer, is played by Susan Twist? I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know the actress that well, but I'd swear that's her, and I'd swear that this uncredited scene is her obligatory appearance in this episode. At any rate, you're wondering, aren't you? You're wondering, did Paul enjoy Space Babies? And will I be watching The Devil's Called soon? Yes, absolutely thoroughly enjoyed Space Babies. It's a well-performed, light-hearted little introductory episode. One that, while I know some of the stuff that's been said, it's something new viewers will appreciate seeing. They'll appreciate the little basic explanations there. It's also one with engaging leads. It's got a nice little central idea. And it's got an interestingly twisty bit near the end of the episode. Again, something that will be familiar to anyone that's seen the Stephen Moffat era with Karen Gillan's Amy Pond. I think people will know that. So it's a familiar twist to those of us who know the show, but it's one that will deepen the mystery surrounding Ruby Sunday. Am I keen on watching more? Yes, I am. I will be watching The Devil's Called tomorrow on Sunday the 12th of May, and I will have my video and written reviews of that up on Monday the 13th of May. Between then and next Saturday, I will be watching the next episode of Star Trek Discovery, Labyrinth. on Thursday the 16th of May, and I will have my written and video reviews of that up on Friday the 17th. I will see you then. In between that, I'm going to get some sleep. Have a very good night. Have a very good day. Keep it wibbly wobbly, and I'll quote Patrick McGoohan at you until we meet again.
Be seeing you.